Seconds Out. Delighted to be joined by Dave Coldwell here in Sheffield, putting Hopey Price through his paces ahead of Saturday night. How are you and how's Hopey doing?
Yeah, very good, thanks. I love Hopey Price fight weeks because he's so laid back, it's chilled, it's just a gym session on Saturday night that we're working towards. He's got such a fantastic attitude and mentality. So there's no wasted energy or anything. It's just what we do. So yeah, I'm looking forward to Saturday night.
Does that make your job a lot easier when the fight is like that?
Loads easier, yeah. Because it just cuts the stress levels down a little bit. When you've got complete confidence in your fighter, and they've also got that confidence as well, it makes things so much easier.
Big fight week for Hopey. Feel like momentum maybe has stalled a little bit over the last 12 months or so, but he can get right back on the horse there, and there's some big opportunities around the corner.
Yeah, I mean, listen, last year was frustrating for us. Inactivity, he was training, there was things that were going off behind the scenes, but that's all sorted now. He had a fight earlier on this year. It's back out again now, so we're back on track, and it's his first fight at featherweight, and he's going straight in against somebody that's just fought for British and Commonwealth titles. So it's not just some 8-rounder against somebody that's coming to give him a few rounds. It's against somebody that's coming to beat him and put himself straight back into title contention. So that's what I want.
Is that where he needs to be now? He needs to be around that British level and fighting for those titles.
That was one of my stipulations with Matchroom about what I wanted in terms of development with him. Is I want the fights where I'm not letting him off a leash yet. Don't be trying to push him into being a superstar yet. But I want the fights where the guys have either been there, just fallen short, but given good account of themselves, or been there, been champion and just lost it and just a little bit on the slide. So we can take that experience from them because they've still got the ambition to still come to win, rather than now they're slotting into that journeyman sort of role. I want to get, and James is at that perfect position where he's literally just lost for the British and Commonwealth titles, and he's got that experience at that division. Hope he's not fought in this division. He can go in there thinking that he's going to be the stronger man, more experienced man, because Hope's only had 10 fights, and that's where you'll see the best of Hopey when somebody's trying to beat him. Yeah,
I mean, in terms of the main event, Dalton Smith is supposedly stepping up to be the star of Sheffield. Do you feel like Hopey could be in that mould for Leeds? Josh Warrington also coming towards the end of his career. Hopey could fill that void.
100%. Yeah. Listen, I'm very realistic about the people that I work with, and in Hopey I've always said that talent and potential-wise, I haven't seen a ceiling yet. And it's just about experience, getting the experience on fight night. He's fighting a lot of guys that are, proven stayers on international level, and guys that are down here. When he was at super bantamweight, he was a giant at super bantamweight, and so he's fighting. And you believe it or not, it has got an effect when you are trying to get sparring partners in. There's nobody around here that's down here that'll spar with Hopey, and so it's very, very difficult because he's too big. He's too big. Yeah, but we need that preparation, because when he goes into a fight, you're looking at opponents, and Boktrek saying the 5'6", 5'7", and then they're getting in the shorter than me. That's going some, and then him trying to get his range and the timing on that, it is quite difficult. Featherweight, they're a little bit bigger, and that suits him because when we're sparring, he's sparring lightweights, his feathers, super feathers, and I always see the best of him in those spars, and then the featherweights are going to be a little bit taller on fight night as well, which is going to help him.
Let's talk about a few of the other fighters in the gym. I've seen Lerone Richards around Sheffield. I don't know where he is at the moment, but what is the news regarding Lerone? I know he was out a few weeks ago. What is the future?
I don't train Lerone. He had his first fight with Grant last time out. We're still friends. I just seen him, just speaking to him. He's just waiting on a big fight. Listen, that's been his career for the last 18 months, 2 years. He's waiting on a big fight. The kid's a special talent, like phenomenal talent, and I will honestly say that out of all the fighters I've ever worked with, he's right up there with skills and ability, one of the best out there. And I don't see anybody in his weight division better than him. And he just needs the opportunity. He fought against Gongora, put on a masterclass. Gongora was a killer. He absolutely took him to pieces. And his career's not gone any further since. In fact, it's gone backwards, and it's a travesty because I think he's 30 now. I just want to see him get the big fights because his talent deserves it, and he deserves it while he's still got that freshness to keep on improving, keep getting better, and then he's a guy that should be world champion.
As a fellow Peterboroughian, I have to ask about Jordan Gill as well. He's had some tough fights in the last 18 months, 2 years. What can we expect from him next?
He's moving up to super featherweight. Just waiting on. I wanted to get him an 8-rounder against somebody. I wanted to, his promoters to, give a little something back and just, bring him back with an 8-rounder. But that don't seem as though it's happening. But so he'll be out probably September. Just got to wait and see what's what. See how the land lies.
New name in the gym as well, in Ebanie Bridges. What was the decision like between you and Ebanie to bring her into the gym? How did that come about?
I got asked, would I train her? I was like, I've never met her. Well, I've met her to say hello to, but I've never spoke to her. I was like, I don't know. So we had a meeting. Basically, it was a training session. We had a meeting, and she wanted to work with me. I was like, well, she's smart, so that was a big thing. She's got a fantastic work ethic, so that's another big thing, and we're just gelled. So it just works. So good start so far.
What are her goals to achieve with yourself?
She wants to be unified, undisputed, clean up. I think every world champion should want to clean it up, and that's what she wants to do. But not a next fight. We need. She's been out. She had a hand operation. Now she's got a new coach. She needs to have a fight or two back, and then next year, look at those massive fights for her.
One man you previously worked with, and Tony Bellew, last week believes that he can step up to the Bridgeweight division and return to action. I mean,
is it really stepping up? Because his last couple of fights have been heavyweight, so it's kind of like stepping down. I saw that. It is what it is. We'll see what happens. I don't know.
Would you train him for it?
I don't know. We'll see what happens.
Is that a yes?
No, we'll see what. I don't. There's no point in me talking about this. It's like people talking about this fight can happen, that fight can happen, but it's nowhere near it. If the fight happens and if we have a conversation, then we'll see where we're at. But I don't know. So right now, I've got Hopey on Saturday. I've got a stable of great young fighters to focus on. I've got Ebanie Bridges looking to unify and do that. So they're the fights that are happening, and they're the careers that are happening right now. So I've got to focus on those.
Okay, a couple of things I want to get your thoughts on from the wider boxing scene. The first being Anthony Joshua and Dillian Whyte. I mean, we don't know if that's over the line yet, but if it is, how do you feel that fight goes?
Oh, if it happens, I'll be excited, because you got to look at the scheme of things, the fights that are available right now. If they've got the Wilder fight in the winter or whenever it is, then you're not going to get him in a killer fight. And there's not that many killer fights, to be honest, out there. But Dillian Whyte's exciting. He comes to bring it. So I'll be excited about that fight. But right now, it's just talk amongst more talk in a division that's doing more talking than fighting. So I don't really care, to be honest.
Is that the frustration at the moment with Tyson Fury as well, that it's just talk?
It is, because everybody's talking about it, but nobody's doing anything about it. And the majority of people that are just on your socials that aren't boxing people, they're judging our sport on what's happening in the heavyweight division. And they're all saying, it's shit. Nobody wants to fight each other. This is why boxing's dying. Blah. No. Look around and look down the divisions. People wanting to fight each other. Lee Wood gets knocked out by Lara. After picking Lara, gets knocked out by Lara, then fights with his promoter to get that rematch next. Not come back with a little fight first and then go into it. No, wants to go straight in. You got Dalton Smith fighting Sam Maxwell on Saturday. That's a good fight. A really good fight. There are a lot of good fights. You had Lopez against Taylor. You Tank against Garcia. You've got Lomachenko against Devanene. These were great fights. Now you've got Spence Crawford, which is the fight in world boxing. So fights are happening. Great fights are happening. fights that fans should be excited about, and people that don't really know much about boxing, please watch these fights. But all people are talking about is this shit heavyweight division where nobody's fighting. When the fights are happening and when the sport, when the division's working, it's a great flagship for our sport. But because people see it as the pinnacle of the sport and the flagship of the sport, when it's shit, people view boxing as shit. I'm getting people saying, oh, YouTubers are destroying boxing, MMA is destroying. No, is it? Fuck. No, none of that. Boxing's destroying boxing by not working. When it works, nobody gives a shit about the rest of it. That YouTube stuff's got its own lane. It's entertainment. It's got its different crowd. Entertainment. Right? So YouTube boxing's like happening. If you've got Spence v Crawford on Saturday night and you've got two YouTubers boxing on a show on the same night, if you're a boxing fan, you're going to watch Spence Crawford. If you don't know anything about boxing, you're just a casual fan of somebody who follows these people, you'll watch the other one. Different markets. So let's get our market right and market the shit that's working. Everybody's just talking about, and headlines are just talking about heavyweight division not happening. So people think that the sport's on its arse. It's not. But if you promote it as such, it's going to be. So everybody needs to talk about the good shit that's happening and focus on the good shit. And people need to have headlines about that. And if your viewing figures aren't that high right now, the more you keep tapping into people's brains about these fights are happening, your viewing figures will go up, because then people start saying, well, actually, everybody's talking about that. I'm going to watch that. There you go.
Right, let's talk about some of that good shit. Spence Crawford.
Cannot wait. Genuinely, I can't remember being as excited for a fight as this for a long time. This is a great, great fight. And yes, it's taken a long time to get over the line, but it's over the line. And I did say, people asked me last year, I did say that for me, this year was the last year for that fight, because otherwise, then you go into that where they're on the slides. And do I think they're both at a peak? Not quite, but they're close to it. And I think this is a great fight. And it's one of those where flick a coin, who do you like, what style do you like, who are you a fan of, that's who you're going to pick on who's going to win, because either man could win. That's what makes it such a great fight. And it's for everything. It's for everything. All the marbles, the reputations, everything.
Final one from me, Conor Benn. It seems although he could be fighting before we get the full verdict from UKAD. What are your thoughts on that?
You got to finish on something shit again, aren't you? It's another one where it's just dragged and dragged and dragged, and it's so many unanswered questions, and I'm bored with it all. I'm bored with all the talk. I'm bored with how it's like, let's just move on and just arrange fights, and let's just move on and negotiate for fights when nothing's sorted. Now they're saying that he's proved his innocence. I've seen headlines saying that he's proved his innocence. I'm not saying he has, I'm not saying he hasn't. But how, where, what? Because now I don't know enough about this new evidence or this new thing why he proved his innocence. So it's hard for me to comment. But only on my understanding of what I remember and what I know. When they came out with the eggs, he was adamant that he never said that, and it wasn't about the eggs. It was the WC just came out with that one. But now they're saying that it is the eggs. And I just don't know where I'm at. All I know that whatever the situation is, it's not good for the sport, because it's like if there's all these little loopholes, and let's say they're legit loopholes. I'm saying let's see if it's legit. Not just this case, other cases. If there's a legit loophole, how do you close that loophole? Because then surely everybody can use a loophole and say, well, actually, I weren't cheating. This is what's happening. It isn't that. Or do you use that? You cheat, and then say, well, I'll just use that as a loophole because it's going to get me off. So in that case, well, how do you test? How do you make sure that the sports is clean? It's never going to be clean because they're too far in advance. The cheaters are in front. The people trying to catch you. The technology that they've got is so far in front of the people that have got the technology and the tools to catch and to find out. So it's never going to be clean, but how do we make it as clean as possible? and that's something that needs to happen. And I don't know the answers, but I'm not getting paid to do that. There are people that are getting paid and do earn money out of sport in order to fix this sort of problem. And it's just, again, it's another thing that's shit about the sport.
Really appreciate your time, Dave, and best of luck on Saturday night with Hopey.
Cheers, mate. Thanks.
Cheers, mate. Really appreciate it.
Thanks.